the weather has to be taken into consideration, not just for the venue and the event itself, but the return home of participants after the event. So the Met Office has advised that the weather will deteriorate tomorrow afternoon. And so, in an abundance of caution, the graduation will be at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Let me just ask, what's the recommended time for the graduates to actually gather?
The graduates should gather 1 hour prior to start time, so that's 8:30 a.m. I know it will be tight for them because many of them have their, especially the ladies, of course, have to get glammed up for graduation. And I know the early time might be a challenge, but I think we can do it. We're preparing our students to enter the world of work. Typically, our work day begins at 8. So we hope that they can, show themselves to be responsible. 8:30 a.m. They should gather at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, and then the ceremony begins at 9:30 a.m.
And what about, we talked about the graduates, but what about the guests? What time should they be seated?
Guests should be seated by 9 a.m. So all our guests should endeavor to arrive at about 9 and take their seats in advance of the ceremony at 9:30.
Ms. Christian, thank you so much for this all-important update. So there you have it, guys. The commencement ceremony of the Dominica State College is still, or will still be held on Thursday, July 3rd, 2025 at the same venue, the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Graduates are to gather at 8:30 a.m., guests at 9 a.m., and of course the ceremony begins officially at 9:30 a.m. This is all being done for the safety of the graduates and the guests coming to support the graduates. This has to be done. So the time again, 9:30 a.m. is the official commencement of this major graduation ceremony of the Dominica State College. And this is all because of an impending tropical wave, which will hit Dominica on Thursday afternoon. Ms. Christian, your closing remarks.
Richie, I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity and just encourage our graduates who are preparing to not make the change, spoil their mood, and to proceed as they would. This is life. We often are faced with, quick changes that need to be made. So I just want to congratulate in advance the graduates and wish them all the best tomorrow on their big graduation day. Also, if there are listeners who are hearing this information and know State College graduates, and you want to share the information in case they would have missed it, please, reach out and call people, because it's very important that everybody gets this information ahead of tomorrow morning. Yes. And that's their big day. They need to get the information right now.
Fantastic. Trudy, we always appreciate you here on the big station. We normally have you on Health Vibes, and you do an excellent job. Well, thank you again for this all-important update. Very, very timely.
Thank you. I'll be on in just about another hour and a half, I guess, Richie.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah. Take care.
That's our friend Dominica Trudy Christian, also holding a very major position at the Dominica State College, doing a very good job as well since her appointment. We have some very capable people in Dominica, huh? All right, so it's an open line. Feel free to call in if you'd like to talk about what we just had, this small discussion we just had. You can. Caller, you're live.
Good morning, Mr. Richie.
Good morning.
Again. I listened to, and I heard that Mr. Linton Richie resigned.
Yeah.
Yes, but this is the message that came in my spirit to him. He is in Jeremiah chapter 12. I read that from 5 said, if you have run.
Okay, caller, we seem to have lost you there. Please call back. As it relates to that, I do plan to reach out to the person in question, and that is Mr. Lennox Linton, to clarify and, of course, provide any relevant data as it relates to this. Yes, caller, you're live.
I don't know what happened. I just
Yeah, we got dropped off there, but please continue.
okay. In I got in my spirit that was because it Jeremiah 12 from verse 5, the footmen, and they have wearied you. Then how can you contend with horses? And if in the land of peace in which you trusted they wearied you, then how will you do in the flooding of the Jordan? For even your brothers, the house of your father, even they have dealt treacherously with you. Yes, they have called a multitude after you. Do not believe them, even though they speak smooth words to you. So that is what, and he said, I have forsaken my house. I've set my heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of the enemy. My heritage is to me like a lion in the forest. It cries out against me. Therefore, I have hated it. So that is the message that, because sometimes, yeah, life you try to do your best for people and sometimes they are not content with what you do, your own people, and sometimes those that you expect to help. So if sometimes in life you are aching and these things, instead of letting them weary you out, best to take time. You have your children, you have your wife, you have your family. Take time out with them. It doesn't mean you're running away from anything, but it's best to step down. If you feel you want to step down, if you want to come back, you come back. But I mean, that is the message I get. You cannot run with horses. You cannot run with the footmen. The people are running. And if you come farthest, if you ride on the horses, it is. So this is the message I got in my spirit for him. It is Jeremiah 12 from 5 go down way down. So you can read it yourself, Richie. It's a very good something scripture in the Bible. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so like I said, efforts will be made to reach out to Mr. Linton, a friend of the media, and try to get him on this morning to provide some clarity. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Richie.
Good morning, bro.
Is this an open line?
It is. It is.
Yeah, Richie, I don't know. Has anybody mentioned the fire at the quote unquote Labas? This is a real disturbance. This is unhealthy.
It is a very major disturbance, yeah.
Yeah, and you see, Richie, the problem I have with it is that every year we keep having that problem recurring. They keep saying it's not going to happen. But how is it happening? We need an investigation to find out, is this really accidental or is it deliberate? Has this solid waste management ever gotten rid of one tire properly, or are they burning it every year and bluffing the public, and in the process killing the public or making the public very unhealthy? Is this deliberate? And from my speculation, and I refer to it as speculation, it's now happening when the state college is closed. It is now happening outside of the cruise ship season. They're learning, Richie. They're learning not to do it when the college is in session. They're learning not to do it when there's a cruise ship. But hell, you can't move the people out of Stock Farm. You can't move the people out of Goodwill and Environ. You cannot move everybody. But they're learning because these are the people that complain the most. These are the people most affected.
Most affected.
But everybody's health is being affected. I can smell it. It's in my lungs. It's in my throat. This is serious. And they cannot do this as a standard thing to burn this. You have, Richie, is it true that we pay an environmental tax when we buy a tire
I believe
to
so.
allow
Yeah.
them to? You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay a tax so that it'll be properly disposed of. And they're not doing that. They're collecting the tax and then they're burning those tires. This cannot be accidental. They cannot use that excuse anymore. And I'm urging voters, because that's the only place we seem to have some power, not to put any representative of this administration in power. The Brozo North constituency should be someone who's going to tell the government, we do not want these tires burning in our noses. Take them out. Do not elect a candidate for the Dominica Labour Party if this does not stop. Sorry I've been so forceful, but this is about our health, our life. There's nothing like good health. Thank you, Richie, for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It is a very serious concern, and I believe it's one of the things nationally we have to address. We need to upgrade our system of waste management. Earlier this week, we touched on that, and we followed the development of this fire at the landfill. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Richie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank God for life. Thank God for health.
Yes.
Richie, have you any update on the collapse of the grammar school building?
No, to my knowledge, investigations are still ongoing.
But I see work started, work has resumed there. So is investigation still ongoing while they say the stopping work while the investigation is still going on. Yesterday I passed down there and I see work is continuing there, work started there. I don't know how long since it started.
Yeah, I saw some movement. Yeah.
Yeah, but work is ongoing there and on the top of some of the buildings.
I'll ask around after the program. I'll do some digging.
Okay, and another note on that same street. Every time I'm on the forestry to cut down the hedges projecting on the street. When you leave the bridge going down towards town, you have some long branches projecting on the street. We haven't got sidewalks. And every time you pass in, there's some long branches that push in your face. Why forestry doesn't cut that? Every time they might cut it, maybe when the tourist season opening, or when Creole Festival around that time, you might see that. Otherwise, it will just grow and grow and grow and grow. And that thing is a hazard to people. You walk in and then a thing can just shook in your face. Because cars come in, remember, we haven't got sidewalk. And we're using that little piece of thing, that sidewalk. So we're in real trouble with that bush, asking forestry to trim down the hedges, not only independent time, not only when tourist season open, it should be done all the time because all you there and all you seeing it. Cut it off. Please. I have something else to say, Richie, but I'll call back because I don't know. I lose my trend of thought.
That's okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my friend. Bye-bye. You can call back anytime within the hour. Good morning. You're live.
I say praises, thanks, blessings, and glory to all those who have sacrificed their personal safety and security, trying to elevate mankind to humanity. Richard, blessings to your family, sir.
Blessings to you as well.
There are some irrelevant and senseless, deceptive cliches. Clean and green, nature island of the world, resilient. Dominica is a resilient country. Maybe we have a problem with words and meanings. or words and the definitions. Me myself, I'm not that good at it, but I'm trying, Richie. So when people talk foolishness to me, I can call them out. You there with me, sir?
I'm here with you.
So let the branches grow blue. Let them grow. Let them burn tires. Some very critical observation you're making, a very critical one. Oh, the tourist is closed. Oh, the state college closed. Because, it's holiday for the state college. And if you listen to my comments, I was downtown yesterday, Richie, and the smoke is still heavy up there, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, I was driving into town and I was literally still breathing in the smoke, so it's still there.
My beloved brother, what tires are doing in a landfill? Maybe you was going to school still, Richie, about 15 years ago, maybe less. There was a tire shredder coming into Dominica, so we could mix asphalt with the shredded tire. And they were telling people, yeah, man, take your tires and plant flowers and beautification and clean and green. And now the corruption from the criminals have infested the memory of Dominicans or contaminated. We seem to be suffering from amnesia. We always forget everything, Richie. We forget. And it is sad to see what is happening, Richie. They say where ignorance is in abundance, it is foolish to be wise. It is folly to be wise. I do not subscribe entirely, but in Dominica it seems quite applicable. It is frightening to see how people can be that receptive to abuse by people they put in authority. And when they come in and tell you the people are the government, don't worry them. That's a reverse psychology. I'm using reverse vocabulary. The people are the government. The government doing what they want on a global scale, committing crimes like Colombia. Look at Haiti, perfect example. In America, where people assassinate their presidents. They have assassinated about 4 of them, attempted on Reagan. He gets shot. They miss Trump. He gets shot. It passes in his ear. Look, they miss him again. Maybe there people can talk about they have power and the relevance and significance of their participation in governing. But in Dominica, Richie, we're like slaves on the plantation of a cluster of criminals who have hijacked government or the state, and where we are on the plantations, NEP, everybody begging, children prostituting, billions made out of passport selling, and money disappearing. Nobody sees. That we raise public voice in something on the government head. Nobody sees, nobody knows. But in conclusion, Richie, it have a thing we used to sing, what can you do, Punchinella, Punchinella? What can you do, Punchinella, in the shoe? We can do it too, Punchinella. So monkey see, monkey do, so monkey doing too. So all the crimes all you're saying, try to deflect it and talk about young people and what happened to them, the young people. All you are the biggest criminals. When they start to emulate and imitate all you calling them criminals, Punchinella in the shoe. In the shoe, that's where all the criminals are. So we can do it too, Punchinella. Have a blessed day, sir.
A blessed morning to you. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Richie, I was listening to your show about child abuse. Was it about child abuse or just abuse in general?
It was focused on child abuse, yes.
Yeah, because you see there's a sexual child abuse,
Yep.
There's a physical child abuse, this and that. But the scope, if you broaden that scope, we're being abused. We're being abused. Look, how many babies you think have been inhaling that stuff for 3 days or whatever now? Babies who have no defense. And their parents cannot move. Babies have been inhaling that. Adults are inhaling it.
The elderly,
Seniors
specifically.
are inhaling it. Richie, you know I fall in the category of seniors.
Yeah. You're a good senior.
I fall in that category.
You're an asset.
But the point is that this is abuse.
Yeah.
And it is a type of abuse which is almost irreversible because it's going to be detrimental to your health.
I think
and there's nothing
I
that can
think
really show you.
you've been bringing up some very strong points, well as usual. But in this case specifically, some very strong points, and it is something that I have taken up in the past few weeks very seriously as it relates to proper waste management and upgrading our systems. It's really something we need to have a national conversation and to implement the plans moving forward. Because to my mind, and Matt and I have spoken about this privately, um, the management of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Company do have plans. They have designs for a more advanced landfill, as it were, even in creation of a recycling plant. But to what I understand, they are not empowered. You understand? They are not empowered enough
Richie,
to
all
actually
we
bring
heard
about
was
those plans.
Richie, all we heard was be patient with us about turning off the fire, stopping the fire. That's all we heard from some education officer of solid waste. Is that the kind of level of education we accepting? Is that sufficient? Where is the prime minister? The health of at least 40,000 people around this thing is at risk. At least 40,000 of the citizens of Dominica. And not only, Richie, I saw that thing, the wind was blowing that thing north, as far as I could see. Maho, Massac, going north.
Yeah.
And the part that you don't see may be reaching Portsmouth. But we'll never know that because you can't see it. Nobody's measuring it. Nobody's checking the effects of it. And we haven't heard much from the Prime Minister about it. We have not heard from the government about it except the education officer from solid waste. This is serious.
I think it's
Dominicans,
I think it's a lack of knowledge too. A lot of people I don't think are aware of what that type of smoke can do to the body, and in the absence of knowledge, people move oblivious. They don't really know what's happening. They think because they don't see it, maybe when it looks like it clears up in the air, they think that it's really gone, but it's actually still there.
Anyway, Richie, I've taken up enough of your time. For those who have ears, let them hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
My brother just speak on our behalf, which has really almost the same area.
Mm.
But the smoke is not there, but the smell is not nice. It's smelling like something when you burn the metal, and it smells, you have to close up the window, but it does not smell nice. It's like metal, but we don't see no smoke. But it can reach up by here, above me, below. Thank you, Clem.
All right, Clem, someone is saying thank you. Caller, good morning.
Hey, Richie, good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, Richie, all those things happen when you have bad governance. Because these things happening, and then you have a man, the prime minister, is pretending that he don't know nothing about those things, and then when he comes, he blaming all the ministers and say, it is next to my heart, and I feel sorry. These have been neglected for too long, and the ministers are not doing what they have to do. He keeps throwing all the ministers and them under the bus and making people believe that it's not he, it's the minister. And then when election come in, what he's going to do is he's going to change all the representatives and make the people believe that it's not he, it's a representative that is not doing what they're supposed to do. And the people not realizing is the head that the good. Or you keep changing people, but the head is still there and the problem is still there. Which is, take for instance, example. I cannot believe Darren Lloyd standing up next to Roosevelt Skerrit in Bell and listening to him telling the people of Bell that they have been neglected for too long. My brother, who neglected the people of Bell? 25 years are you in power. You know, all you have neglected the people of Bell. Now you come in and telling them that they was neglected for too long. So which means you throw down under the bus because it's he that neglected the people of Bell. It cannot be nobody else. Because it's he that is he is the representative of Bell. So when you tell him that they neglect and they have been neglected for too long, my brother, is because you and your people have been neglecting the people of Bells for too long. But now you want to come and play a part, starring now. So now come to me. So now I come and fix it. It's me that is the boss. So now I'm going to give all the home center. I'm going to give all you road. I'm going to give all you house in perfect. My brother, how long are you going to take to start fooling the people of Dominica, my brother? My brother, you know what's good for you. Get out from our office as Prime Minister and let somebody else that is willing, somebody else that have Dominica next to their heart, somebody else that will do what they have to do for the middle class, the low class, and the poor people. Get out of where you is. Which in closing, which do you know that St. Kitts bring up the minimum wage?
Yeah.
Do you know it was $400 per week? Now it is $500 per week.
Yes, I do.
Did you see that?
I did.
We just check it out good, and you will see what happened in St. Kitts. And these guys are Skerrit friends here, and they're looking out for the people. While we down here have to be come to me. Which you have a good day.
Have a blessed day as well. A minimum wage. I think that's a topic worth exploring at some time in the future. Comparing ours with some of our neighbors. To my knowledge, as of 2025, St. Vincent and Grenadines has a minimum wage of about $1,000 per month for full-time workers. The government is considering a 20% increase in that value. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Rich. How are you and your family?
We're doing fine, thanks, caller. How are you?
Mr. Rich, this country getting real bad. Let's tell if you got the boss is looking more like it's for you. And I remember the discussion saying about things are good. It has progress in the country. Where is the progress? We haven't got to structure in Dominica. Look at our jetty. The same jetty since 1979. Huh? And you went to them and still put labor again. The man wicked, my brother. We need a change in Dominica. Washers are crying. Fishermen are crying. We need a change. You understand me? We stand on the road here, brother. We need to take a Skerrit there and put somebody else there in power. Because we take that too long. And we will suffer in the country. I'm a bus driver on the road there, shy by. We not on the road. We make on the road and get expensive. So she have a nice day. We're not changing Dominica. Bye.
Thank you, caller. I will say, in all fairness to the government, that investments are being made But as some economists have informed me, both privately and publicly, I would say Dr. Fontaine has brought this up quite a few times, Mr. Kent Vital as well. Depending on where you direct investments, then the monies do not spread as much to the other sectors, leaving them vulnerable. And that appears to be what's happening in Dominica. We're seeing a lot of investment in infrastructure. But does everyone work in infrastructure? The answer to that question is no. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Richie, let me just say something quickly. Richie, I glad you even raised that, Richie. Richie, I can spend my money. Am I spending it wisely? I have a family. I buy expensive clothes, expensive shoes, expensive vehicle running. Yeah, I'm spending my money. So investment in isolation, according to the economists you have spoken to. Yeah, where are you investing that money? Who are the people are you employing? Richie is not, foreigners that working on grammar school, not foreign contractor.
Yeah, largely, yeah.
Okay, and predominantly as well. Every major infrastructural project is being done by foreigners. So your investment, what are you saying? I told you maybe last week, Richie, if something is broken and it is working on your behalf and you're that diabolic, you're that devilish and avarice, greedy, Richie, you're not going to fix it. And Dominica is broken and it is working on their behalf, not their, is his behalf. So he's not going to fix it, Richie. Richie, just quickly, the toxicity in all these plastics and styrofoams and tires, it is carcinogenic, it is cancerous. The poisons in all this substance when you're burning them, Richie. On a global scale, they're warning, avoid burning those things. Cloth, like fabrics. Richie, you maybe have some leaves and some wood and shrubs or something. It's okay. But when you're burning these poisons, Richie, you're endangering the lives of the people that are living within that proximity. And maybe nationally, because Dominica is a very small landmass. Talking about radius, what Dominica have now? So they're contaminating the whole place, Richie, while these guys are stealing the resources of the state, living high, abusing those little pal reps. You see that there, Richie, they haven't got a say. They can just say what they perceive to be said because there's the perceived expectations of engagement. If I'm dealing, if you, Richie, as a big drug dealer, would you think I'd want to come around you and talking about how drug dealers are evil? When I know every now and then you're giving me money, you're giving me some clothes, you're giving me shoes, you're helping. So I have a perception
I have you
of
on
what
payroll.
I could not say. Huh?
I have you on payroll.
Yeah, that's it. So you do not want to offend the person who is giving you bread. And that's happening. So I do not even have time to really talk about those little parents because you see how disposable they are. He changed them like a diaper, disposable diaper. So it is sad, Richie, to see what is happening in the country. And in conclusion, Richie, do you know Trump deporting migrants to countries where they're not nationals?
Yeah.
Trump taking people that come from Central, South America and everywhere and deport them to Africa after all what we have. That is organized chaos on a global scale. So all of you that think you can allow the waters of Dominica to be muddied and rich and I will drink it and all you will drink clean water. It is just a matter of time. Have a blessed day, sir.
Blessed day. Blessed day. As it relates to again, I think that it's a topic we'll have to review. The minimum wage, as one of the callers earlier mentioned, it is confirmed that St. Kitts, I kid you not, just raised the minimum wage again. And that's within a 3 year cycle, if I'm not mistaken. And that's quite commendable. I can tell you the second wage increase took effect yesterday. It's raised to $12.50 per hour. That's 500. The American would say bucks. $500 per week. And now the Minister of Nevis is speaking with his team about the increase, emphasizing the significance of the wage adjustment. So some improvements beyond what we've done by our sister islands, which are governed and led by the same laws. The laws of St. Kitts is really not that much different from Dominica. We're in the same jurisdiction, so they're basically governed by the same laws that we have, but the management of the economy and governance appears to be different. Caller, you're live.
Yes, it's me again, Richie.
Welcome.
Richie, in Dominica, we say our passport. What is the what's that man's name again? Joseph Isaac said our passport has not been sold. Parliament. Did you see the video of the lady, the two white women and the guy telling them I'm Dominican and blah 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 blah? And they said they have their passport, they want their passport. They just said they give them the passport, they said they bought their passport. So they are Dominican because of buying their passport. Passport. Millions. These passport sellers. Housing project.
Okay.
Government letting people live in houses to buy them for votes. But they now can collaborate, put their money together, and buy a nice piece of land, a couple nice flat pieces of land, and build houses. Instead of putting that money into that washing laundromat, they have there that washing machine, that big laundromat, and say they're building hotels. Because that $74 million so-called hotel that on La Coco, support cost $74 million. Even if I didn't go to school, any blind little child can tell you that cost $74 million. We're under what God earth, and you have Chinese working on it. Give me a break. Which is with serious problem in that country, and some of us face to see that. All we're looking for is me, myself, and I, and what that is in it for me. By the time they will see what that is in it for me, it will be too damn late, and the country will be going down. And they might have some escape route, but not everybody that have an escape route. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. But the hope caller is that we don't reach there. I think every Dominican wants the best for Dominica. And we should all want the best in governance as well. It's a democracy. So if things are not working out with any particular administration, when you tally everything that they've done, over the time that they've been there. If it's worked in your community's favor, then by all means, put them back in. But if they have not been able to meet up to majority of the promises made in the manifesto, because that's the criteria for keeping any party in power. It's based on their manifesto. So if those promises were not met or kept, at least by 70-80%, then it's valid to vote them out. That's how a democracy works. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, morning. It's a hard time to get to us. Yeah, I was already waiting on the fire building. Yeah, and that to me is a critical issue in Dominica. Tires basically supposed to be, we have to find a way to manage the tires better than that. Tires basically should be trained to come where we can recycle that tire to put into our road system. In the meantime, we should take on tires, stockpile and put it down in the old point on Landfill along there. That maybe if you have fire there, that really have that serious impact on people's health as is right now at stockpile. Because there's a lot of, when the tire going in, you have something called furan and dioxin.
Mm-hmm.
They call that Newport's unintentional persistent organic pollutants, which can create problems in people's health, asthma, lung disease like emphysema, mesothelioma.
Yeah.
So we have to basically manage that tire business better than that. In terms of the Solids Act, make provision for the Solids to present the government every 4 years a national plan to deal with the management of waste in Dominica. And I don't think that is being done. So we need to seriously look at waste management because it has impact on your economy, impact on health, which is critical.
Yeah, and you made not to cut you off, but you made a very good point, caller, because the Solid Waste Management Act, I think of 1996, it really does empower the Dominica Solid Waste Management Company to develop facilities and to oversee the storage, the treatment, the disposal of waste. And that I was saying earlier that I've had conversations with some of the professionals in that field, and they were telling me that the management of DSWMC did or do have plans to upgrade the landfill and even establish a recycling plant for tires and glass and things of that nature, but they were not empowered.
But
you understand? So yeah, go ahead.
That landfill, yeah. The landfill right now has obviously is capacity to the management of it. That landfill was constructed in, I think, 2007. 2007 was commissioned, and the time has come for it to be removed from that area. And basically, Dominica has to go to a situation where there should be no landfill. The landfill business right now, we have to go to the recycling of waste, reuse of waste reduction, and strategy. Where all your waste coming in, 60% of the waste coming in Dominica's landfill is basically organic waste, which can be put into composted around the island, where people can actually take their waste to a composter that it can be composted and turn into fertilizer that you can use on the land.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff like plastics should be sort of for recycling. Tires should be given special treatment because tires are a serious problem all over the Caribbean. Because when I was down in Service, there was an initiative to put a regional system together where we could actually send that tire to one plant and let that island during the tires. But we have to seriously look at strategies to manage waste management, to manage waste in Dominica, and come up with new ideas. This old modular that model we ensure now is not really appropriate for Dominica.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the rubbish dump model. In fact, the Fokole sanitary landfill is also known on the books as the Roseau rubbish dump.
It's a rubbish dump.
Yeah.
Good.
That's on the books.
It was equipped with everything. It was lined, it had lining, it had gas vent, it had leachage pond. So it was a model landfill that was established there in Kukui. So landfill, we had the model, but right now we use it because that landfill space, I will tell you, it should be closed down. And strategies has to be gotten out to look at how we can actually do without a landfill when we are now planning new strategy for waste management in Dominica.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend. Solid contribution. So the Fokole sanitary landfill, the one that's we're currently using, was established or commissioned in September 1st, 2005, first day of operation. Folks, we are in 2025. Shelley of Signal Band is an excellent mathematician. He once asked in song, if the math is mathing. I ask you this morning on July 2nd, 2025, is the math mathing as it relates to waste management in your country? Caller, good morning.
Richie, sorry to call so often, but you know.
You're welcome,
Richie,
brother. You're welcome.
The math ain't mathing. Because, first of all, we talk about all this planning and planning and planning. We don't even have garbage trucks to take the garbage to the broken landfill. When was it? Did anybody say when the garbage trucks are coming? Has Mr. Skerritt said that he's going to privatize the garbage collection? I mean, these are some of the unanswered questions, and we're hearing nothing from these people. Nothing. When a politician and his gang of politicians cannot take your garbage out, it's time to take them out of office. Thank you.
Again, when it comes to waste disposal, this is also a national issue, because every home, every person, regardless of their status, creates waste. And not just organically, as human beings, but in terms of usage as well. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Richie. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks God.
Station in the house. Richie, I'm here and we're sitting and listening and watch what is going on.
Yeah.
But Richie, my question is this. We as Dominicans, I have done my evaluation and my research. Do we really understand the magnitude of the repercussion we are allowing Dominica to go through, that we will reap because we allow Dominica to go through that stage? Maybe we don't understand. Maybe we don't. Because, Richie, I really want to come home. I'm telling you straight. But when I consider the trend that Dominica is going right now, the leaders are taking Dominica, I ask myself the question, I wonder if a next political party, of those who are going to be in office, can really bring back Dominica to where it should be. That's the question I'm asking.
That's a good question.
Richie, we are so deep down in the abyss. I wonder what kind of ladder we can use to come out. Because maybe we're just looking on Dominica alone, but the world is changing rapidly. Richie, from since COVID, World War III has started. And people don't understand that based on prophecy. We are not going to have the approach for warfare and war has changed.
It has
People
changed,
to understand that.
Yeah.
World War
It's
One
not the same.
is not going to be like World War Three. World War Two is not going to be like World War Three.
Yeah.
The war has started.
Yeah, you have
Richie,
a lot of trade wars now. And,
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to
yeah.
show you something what Dominicans we don't really understand. Right here in Statia, we stop import plywood, interior ply. You know why? I bring it up to some of the clients, the owner of the business, and they stop import interior ply. China, we used to buy ply that come from Brazil. Now it's China, made from the US, but come from China. You know what the Chinese are doing? The Chinese are using rice. This is not speculation. They are using rice milk in the glue, and they are putting eggs of termite in it. Do the calculation. By the time it reaches its destination, those eggs hatching. And that's why we're getting plywood with termites. Sometimes you buy plywood, you see they have holes already. You don't use it. Sometimes you build a furniture and your whole house fills with termites. It's not
joking.
falling to the ground.
You're joking.
We ban that. I'm telling you, we ban that. Only one that is banned, but they're buying is cedar. Cedar, the same cedar from Lebanon that they use in the Bible days for the temple. It's bitter, so we are using cedar plywood. We are not importing interior plywood in Statia no more because of that reason. Because what? Economical warfare. That is the Chinese method right now. They are not fighting, sending men to fight and shoot people, They are doing it economically. So they are setting up a system that you must buy from them. You think all these hurricanes are just natural disasters? For us, people will wake up. So, Dominica, with what we are going through, with the waste dump, with the solid waste, it's easy. The solution is easy. Richie, may I ask you, is it privatized or government owned?
To my mind, it is government owned.
Well, that's the problem. That's where we have the problem. Government will put out a bid, privatize it, give the people the power. It's acres. Richie, when we go to the dump, Statia is one of the dirtiest place. When I go to the dump, I go up a scale. I weigh. Dominicans like to keep record. I'm not saying they don't have a scale, but I drive up to a scale with my truck. They weigh the garbage, and at the end of the year, they give an outlet. They give a record of how many garbage comes in, how many metal, and then they ask people asking who have to inspect and tell me where to go. And then when I go down into the yard, we talk about acres of land, I drive them to another destination, one for tire. Or the tires. Richie, tire business is a big money for the waste dump,
Mm-hmm.
When I change a tire, buy a tire place, repair it, I have to pay $2 extra. Why? Because to every tire that goes by the waste dump, you have to pay $2 or $1 for a tire. Now, what they do, they cut those tires, they compress it, they tie it, and they put it and they ship out. Money coming into the island.
Mm-hmm.
All the canteens and empty bottles, they press it, they tie, they bundle them out. All the sardine and coke tin.
That's what I'm saying. And this is a huge market, and we're not capitalized. I'm trying to understand, and the investment from the research I've done so far, I have to do more. But from what I've seen, it does not require much. Dominica could do this within 1 year, and we have not done it. So I think if I get the opportunity, I will raise this to the Honorable Prime Minister. We need to do things that's going to benefit the nation.
Yes.
The airport is great. The idea of an international airport, you want to do a marina, these are great, but it's not going to happen overnight. And there are faster investments that we could make to bring in recurring revenue for the country.
Of course, but Richie, I spoke to the manager of the waste dump. If they need, we are saying Dominicans don't have the skill, but them say we can eat the bone, we can eat the chicken and throw the bone. You know what I mean? We can take ideas from everybody. This guy went to say that he did a proper work again. We can ask him. He's of my age, and he's willing. I spoke to him. He's willing to come to Dominica and just give some ideas how we can go about it. He don't have to do it. Just come as a vacation and he can give the ideas. He's willing. He's a young guy, and I'm Richie. This works out. All the waste sticks and stuff. There's a machine that crush them. When I need fertilizer, when I need compost soil, I go down by the dump. I buy a bag or big bag and I plant my vegetables. It's right there. You want to put in your yard instead of stone, you can go down and get that crushed wood and you can spread in your yard. It looks so good for your melon and for your pumpkin. It works out, Richie. So it's not much. All the government have to just privatize this thing.
Give it to the people, give them the power of it, make the legislation that they are empowered to do what they have to do. Give them, I think that dump site is overburdened, it is expired, it is overloaded. They need a new site, set up a new system, and get Dominica clean and going, because we are going down into the abyss. Dominica has been criticized because of the garbage. People come from Dominica, from Station to Dominica, showing cruel face. When you see Station flag, no, these are Station people. My wife and I, we advertise. Another lady, we advertise Dominica, but I'm feeling so ashamed sometimes. Some still say they are going down for this year, cruel face. They are ready to come, but Dominicans, we must do better than that. Richie, I'm listening, my brother.
Enough said. A strong contribution there. We really need to look at this. Before I take another call, I received a statement from our friend David. Let's listen.
Mr. Farron, good morning to you, sir. Dominica and St. Kitts might be governed under the same system, but it is clear that the government of St. Kitts are working for and on behalf of the people of St. Kitts. And they have realized that with the rising cost of living all over the world, that the people of St. Kitts need a break. And so they have decided to give them a pay increase. Now, Dominica, on the other hand, who is governed by a bunch of kleptomaniacs, does not feel the need to increase the salaries of the average worker in Dominica. Meanwhile, Roosevelt Skerrit increased his salary by some percentage some while ago, and that of his ministers as well. Also, Dominicans continue to pay over $74,000 a month for Roosevelt Skerrit to live in a mansion, while they themselves can barely afford a one-bedroom apartment. Every day, you hear young people sounding their frustration. They cannot find work, and so they have to flee to other countries. You hear young people complain, small business owners complaining about high utility bills, especially the water rate. Roosevelt Skerrit promised to retract that increase that he placed on the water, but that hasn't been done, and so people are expressing frustration over that. Businesses closing left, right, and center. When one new business open, 2 or 3 closes their door, and so Dominica is going nowhere. But the people of Dominica has accepted that fact, that this is how it is, and they are not willing to do anything about it. It is clear that Dominicans are suffering from battered women syndrome, whereas they believe that what they have presently is the best that they can get, and they are not willing to do anything to change their fortune. And so they will continue to suffer under this present regime and will do absolutely nothing, because the majority of them support the government, and as long as their party is in power, they will suck salt, they will eat dirt. Some of them will rape, some of them will prostitute their children, but as long as the government is in power, it is okay.
Yes, some things have to be reviewed. In relation to the caller referencing the increase in salary for our ministers of government, here's what we know. The new increase for Prime Minister, as it relates to his salary, the recent increase brought up his salary by some $4,000. And With the other ministers of government, their salary increased by some $2,300. However, the other public servants within the machinery of government at that time received nothing. Well, those who receive less than $2,000 a month, that is. These are the facts. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Richie.
Good morning.
Richie, am I hearing that this is an annual policy at the solid waste dump at the what we call locally labas, that we burn the tires annually, that it's a deliberate act to manage the volume of tires at the solid waste dump? I recall being at the Port Authority one year. It was about 8:30, and that exact heavy-duty black suit came and greeted this tourist boat in port, and it was one embarrassment. And coming to think of it, it is an annual event. It seems that the solid waste department, that is their policy, to burn the tires, and you have been lying to the public that it is an attempted, that it was arson, that someone started the fire. Can we get Miss Rhoda out of her office and come and tell us this morning, yes, that's really true. We have been authorized to commit this criminal offense against the residents of Roseau and Dominic on a whole, to burn the tires because that's the only option we have. Is that true? Do you know that the millions of acres that burnt in Los Angeles some time ago, that they had to trace the guy who set the fire, who started this arson, and he was criminally charged? It's a criminal offense to do such. The Ministry of Finance, somebody has to answer to the public. You cannot tell me that is an annual event, that you burn the tires annually, and you don't care about this soot, this toxic fumes in the lungs of the residents of your island. Come on, I cannot believe that. Is that what I'm hearing, Clem? That they do that deliberately to manage the volume of the tires? Miss Rhoda, can you just call us and put us at ease and say, yes, we're really sorry, but that's the way we manage the tires. You know, this is budget month. Minister of Finance, this is budget month. Let me step on the toes of many tire vendors and the tire buying public and all motorists. To solve that problem, you must increase the environmental tax on tires by at least $10 per tire so that you can solve this nightmare. You must do that. Come on, think. You have to think, what are we going to do? You cannot be burning those tires in the public domain
that's
like that.
Caller, that's a very reasonable proposal.
After all,
yeah.
No, we have an open line. Let me get some people upset with me. You know, if I show you the pile of letters requesting donations, requesting sponsorship, I'm in business, I'm a businessman, and I show them the statistics at customs. Every month, you know those names, those companies, Shine, Alibaba, Amazon.
Yep.
You know those people? That's where we're shopping. at least $10 million monthly is coming into the island, directly imported by Dominicans. 30,000 vehicles in the last 20 years have been imported by the private owners. They did not buy it locally. We're not buying our clothes locally. We're not buying our shoes locally, our refrigerators, our consumer goods. We're going to Amazon and you want salary increase. We're going to Alibaba. We're going to Shine. That's where we're going. We're not shopping in town. So how you expect the little businesses to survive? We are our own enemies. You want jobs for your families, and you're shopping on Amazon. You're not shopping in town so that the business houses can expand and they will employ the 300 graduates from college tomorrow. Well, half will go to China, and maybe we don't know as yet if the doors has been closed on them to go to the United States universities. And again, I'm bringing this up. UE, Barbados, Jamaica, Mona campus, Barbados, Trinidad campus. Is there a quota for our graduate students to absorb them, to give them scholarships in Trinidad for lawyers, for doctors at Mona campus in Jamaica, for all the master's and bachelor's degrees at UE in Barbados? A number of points, Richie. Too many points. Have a great day.
Too many points. He's scoring some goals there, caller. Scoring some goals on a Wednesday. Just some more information. And this is what it is, folks. Okay, so from burning tires, these are the chemicals released in the air which we inhale. The smoke from tires contain volatile organic compounds like styrene and benzene, which are notorious for causing a variety of long-term health problems. I can tell you that the smoke, or black soot, is even tainted with heavy metals such as lead, cadmium, mercury, which can all accumulate in your lungs and other organs. The World Health Organization says these dangerous substances makes tire burning, a significant public health hazard. These are the facts. Inhaling these toxic fumes from burning tires can wreak havoc on your respiratory system. The chemicals in the smoke are irritants that can inflame your airways, obviously leading to conditions like bronchitis and asthma. These conditions reduce lung function, and it can reach to the point where every breath becomes uncomfortable. But unfortunately, there's more to this. The burning of tires can lead to the big C. I think by now we all know what the big C is, as there's a high case of it here already in Dominica. So the dangers of that type of smoke doesn't end with you having or experiencing respiratory illnesses. No, the toxic substances released from that smoke are known as carcinogens, meaning they can cause cancer. Lung cancer, in particular, is a serious, serious risk. Folks, that's how it is. These are the facts confirmed by multiple health agencies, regionally and internationally. Do you still think we shouldn't take this seriously? Caller, you're live.
Richie, just a quick suggestion, particularly on the West Coast, Richie, where we have rock, hard, solid earth. Maybe it can be done in certain areas, but based on the water catchment and all of that, you have to be careful maybe where you're burying them. You could bury tires and retrieve them maybe over a period of time when maybe if at all they allow some transition having to do with a new administration, governance, or government particularly. You dig some massive, wide, more wide than deep. And let's say you're digging it to have maybe if it's 100 tires per hike, so to speak, and you could still have at least a good 7 or 8 feet surface, backfilling it with the same soil you dug. So you bury the tires, Ricky, and you're just saying it, all the technical terms, just to tell you these things are cancerous, they are hazardous when you go and burning those, whether in residential areas or not. It's in the environment, particularly a small land mass like Dominica. So what they can do, Richie, is enough places on the West Coast that have real hard rock, soil, foundation. You dig some massive, wide areas, and you could even resurface it with fertile soil, Richie. So people could be farming all over the tires, and the tires are not bothering them. I don't think there would be no release of any toxins, any poisons having to do with your crops or anything. But Richie, if that is deliberate, years ago, Richie, I was at the Emerald Pool. I used to be a vendor. And I heard about a fire outbreak up there. And Richie, no buses were coming up there. We did not see no tourists. So I pack up my things and I go down St. Joe. And Richie, I deliberately go downtown. Richie, if you see smoke, you could not even well see the ship, Richie. From by Linus coming in, Richie, based on the wind direction. That was hit. The ship had to leave early, Richie.
Wow.
Who are the people in decision-making position who are deliberately trying to phase out every form of survival for the ordinary Dominican so all roads can lead to Rome? Your children want brace for their teeth? Come to Papa. Your children want brassiere? You know they call it brassiere? No. They want underwear. They want spectacles. Whatever your children want, come to Papa. I will promise you a scholarship, even if after it's a good ship you end up on. And that is the dirty game. And I'm saying it for years, Richie. It is systematic. It is psychological. All these dirty little games. You have one lunatic who said that they study psychology and they're just using ABC 1, 2, 3 food, clothing, shelter psychology on the people. Richie, it is a crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings. Blessings. Let me just say or add to the discussion While this is a very, very serious issue, and yes, we do need to have a national conversation on the matter, and shortly after that conversation or consultation, immediate implementation of the plan moving forward. I will say this: based on international standards, you really do need a certain amount of tires submitted to the plant, to the tire plant, to actually have a functioning tire recycling plant, which is viable for business for the country. And so the question remains, and we would need to get some statistics from the management of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation. The amount that's needed, Dominica, is 500,000 tires a year. Are we producing that or using that amount of tires in Dominica? So you can see this major factor actually decides if we are viable to have or to establish a tire plant in our country so that it's viable economically, you know. It's a legitimate factor to consider. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Richie. That's Aaron Elliam. How are you?
I'm doing fine, big bro. How are you?
Where I live in the fulcrum center of this toxic hazard.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Yes, and up to this morning when I awoke, there was smoke. And what happened? The smoke goes up. But after a couple of days, it comes and it rests on the houses, all around the houses. Smokeley, Public Works.
Yes.
Area. Here at where I live, we were all inundated with this toxic all night long. In the houses, you have toxic soot on the floor. No matter how you close your doors and windows, these things come in. But you know what worries me? What's my major concern?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fact that everybody raised about this is not an accident. If anybody tells you that there was an accident or some vagrant set the fire, that's not true. I've been here for over 20 years. And every year there's a sort of a culling of the tires. Like they burn some to manage their waste areas. I'll talk about that later. But you know what worries me and worries me still is the fact that I went out there and the people were not wearing masks. They were all exposed. I could see the smoke all around them. And they were just standing there as if not normal, nothing was happening. There has not been one single health advisory, a cautionary advisory from the Solid Waste Department or the Ministry of Health.
Darrendale, I realized because I was told that people, they don't seem to know the consequences of this happening and how detrimental it is for them in Fokole, Yam Peace, and Stock Farm and so on, which is why I took the liberty to provide some factual information in terms of health, because no one else is doing it. No one else is doing it.
That's not your direct responsibility. There's a Ministry for Health.
I know,
but to ensure that they provide cure and caution and advice to the people. I heard the other person, this PRO for Solid Waste saying vacate, but she didn't say to where. There was no organized place where people that had real issues with health and respiratory issues, there was no organized place where you could take 20 people, 30 people for a night or two, because all night long the smoke is in the air. And there was absolutely no advisory from the Ministry for Health. And I wonder why. Are they insensitive to these issues, or are they incapable of doing the right thing? Don't you think it was immoral and criminal not to advise people to wear masks and provide masks for them that we got enough money to do all sorts of mansions and other things? Don't you think that the people of the Stock Farm area, the affected areas, wherever that was, should be at least advised on what they could do to cover their noses? I saw people walking in the smoke, and I spoke to one or two of them, and like, no big deal. And here it is, you are telling and publishing the dangers of the smoke emanating from these burnt tires. And it's not an accident. I've been here, and there have been several of these loose fire things here in my experience in my life. More than just one, more than just two. Every year, and it's live directly under the landfill. And the brother who spoke to you about the landfill, he said, we cannot get these tires in sufficient numbers locally. We could have a regional thing where all the islands in the Caribbean, the OECS, for instance, they could collect their waste tires and supply this recycling system. You follow what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I know you're limited for time, but there's been no advice from the health department to the people who have been suffering from the emissions. And that is really sad, irresponsible, and immoral. Because you expect a minister for health to be concerned about the health people, the health of these people all over Dominica. And I want you to note that. That's my point I'm making now. Thank you very much, my brother, for giving me the chance.
Thank you. And as you verified who you are, let me just say that was our friend Arundel. Mr. Arundel, thank you for that contribution. Good morning.
Yeah, Richie, sorry to call so often, but
You're always welcome, brother. You're always welcome.
Richie, the Japanese bring these cars here. We buy them online, whatever. But these ships are going back empty. Do you think it would be a suggestion for the government to investigate and see if the Japanese would like those tires back, even if we have to give it to them for free, so that they could recycle them? Those ships are going back empty. We're not shipping anything to Japan. They come down here loaded with cars and go back empty.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Even if we have to give it to them free, tell them come to play. Solid waste will deliver it to the port for you, and you can recycle them. And Japan might be interested in that. We have diplomatic relations with Japan. They've given us all these.
They would pay for it. I mean,
complexes. We have a relationship with them.
Yeah, because they do imports anyway for tires.
And they are good at recycling because Japan itself doesn't have the kind of resources. They import all the iron ore to make their cars.
Yeah.
They don't have. It's a little island. You understand? I'm sure they might be interested in something like that. These politicians have any brains? Our prime minister is in St. Lucia gallivanting with the Nigerian president. You know, what value is that to us? Yeah? Roosevelt Skerrit has to put his head down and figure out how to take care of the waste of this country. If he cannot do it, I am begging Dominicans to take him out. Get him out. Do not vote for any of his broomsticks and do not vote for him. Get them out. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I wouldn't go as far as using that adjective. These are still Dominicans, still our people. Yes, we do have concerns as it relates to various aspects of governance. But let's lay off the adjectives, please. But your point well taken, my friend. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Richie. It's me again.
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, let me ask you, Richie, concerning based on your knowledge. I'm not saying maybe you might, maybe you may. Are you aware that any environmental officers visit the dump site on a regular occasion, moment, or
no? I'm not aware of any consistent visits from forestry, no.
Okay.
Or in the environment.
What about the health department? Those that give the tests and exams for food handling permit and stuff like that. Do they visit the dump?
It's that information they've never really made it public, so I think it's private.
I will put it out.
Yeah.
Okay, and in every fire department, because last year or year before last, I think some years ago, one of the fire chief from station met in Barbados. They had because you see, it's a community. The Caribbean is a community. So they met in Barbados for a conference, and the chief of fire department for station was St. Martin, Dominica. He met with Dominica, so they know what I'm talking about. So, is there any fire department or any officers that visit the dump site or to drive around in a patrolling vehicle to see, to take a look at the fire hazard areas to see what is going on? Are you aware of that?
That has never been made public to the media.
Okay, you see, that's where we have a problem, Richie. Because you see, when one man have answer for all and speaks for all offices, that's why we have conflict of interest. When you put square pegs in wrong hole, we're going to have room for corruption, room for delinquency, room for lackadaisicity, mentality that have no sense of change. That's where we're going to have room because what the square peg is in a wrong hole, so you're going to have filters, things that are going to escape. And rather than the prime minister should be overruling and looking at those who should be carrying on the work, he's busy taking on their responsibility. That's why I heard many people say, well, yeah, we can't blame the prime minister for everything. Yes, he can oversee everything, but he should put people in position and give them the lineage, give them the leeway to operate and to function efficiently. You see, when we have incompetent people in places, what are we going to get? Incompetence. You see, and that is where we are right now. Richie, the study part, one of these days I tried to have a workshop. I'm trying to burn my garbage. I have to go to the study department to get a permit. And you want to tell me, get a drum, bore some holes. It will make like an incinerator.
Yeah, I had to do that because we spoke to one, my family and I, and that's exactly what they told us to do. So we had to get a drum, we had to bore some holes in it, and yeah.
Good. So then for burning tires, I thought it was an accident. For burning tires in the public, the fire department, hey, somebody should be, I'm saying in the court, somebody should be fired. Let me tell you something, my brother, we are in for a mess. We are in a mess in Dominica because we are a lawless country. When there is no rule of law, this is what happens. It comes from the head. Not even the Constitution. Not even the Constitution can prevent from doing what he has to do. What do we expect? For Dominica to get good, these people must go. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you. You made some strong points there. Drink some water, calm dog, okay? Your points are well received. Dominica, just to let you know, I'm going to be with the team at Logos very soon in a few minutes. Logos is actually docked. The ship is docked right outside our cruise ship berth here in Roseau. And I'm going to go on board and mingle with the team. Maybe get some ice cream. And socialize a bit. Good morning to Marlene Shillingford, Bernice Albenois, good morning. Edna, good morning to you. Good morning to David, the Dangaben family, good morning. Mr. and Mrs. Linton and the Linton family in general, good morning to you. And to all of you, the listeners at home and abroad, special good morning. To everyone in the public sector, good morning. Branches of government, executive, legislative, judiciary, good morning. Wow. Let's take this last call and we'll wrap it up. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks God. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks God as well. It's a while, but I'm going to give you an advice that we can look into when you have time for that one.
Mm-hmm.
What my question is what project, short-term project, you can see that only way for that is being talked about that will transform Dominica right now as to the stage that we are in and where we head into. I think of it and I say, let me just get that across you for a while because you have been doing a very good job.
That's an excellent question, caller. What I can tell you, although this particular short term project, the benefits from it is derived long term or mid term, sorry, because of the model, and that project is actually the World Creole Music Festival. This is a project, as you know, which was made long before the current administration, and the economic model I was confirmed and told is a midterm benefit where persons come in, they buy tickets, they spend time in our hotels or guest houses, etc., and then the money, basically, there's a turnover that takes place over time, so people get back their investment over time.
And that turned out to be excellent for us, in our country. But one that I see, I see a lot of them, but one that I see, and a lot of people have been talking about it, spoke about it as well. Our water, the millions of gallons that we have flowing. And some of them give this administration advice that if we could invest in selling our water, do take 1 or 2 couple millions from where it is, our little CBA, and do a project where we can sell water to the different countries. Antigua didn't have to leave and go all the way down south for these millions of gallons of water. And we in a position where we can give an attractive price, sorry. Yeah. Even at $1 per gallon of water, we could sell. And we would end up selling millions of gallons of water. And in a short term basis, and you see the kind of impact that would have. Government don't have to look to tax everybody when we're making millions of gallons of our water that go down to the sea. So I just listening to you and knowing that you're doing a good job. I know you will put this one on the cards that we can look at, and you will hear the different type of people calling you and giving their take on that. I just decided let me juggle this one into you, man.
Yes, a very good point as well, caller. Very good point. To all of you listeners and those of you who called in and participated, like I always say, Dominicans are brilliant people. I mean, you guys are brilliant. Even from listening to the contributions that you made, the policymakers can get ideas from these shows. And so collectively, we move this paradise forward. Huh? Let's sneak in one more call. One more call. Caller, your live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Mr. Perez, I am blessed, I am just calling in support of your last caller who just called in about in reference to the water distribution to the other islands of the Northern Caribbean islands.
Yes.
And from 1995, I saw that vision where these other Northern Caribbean islands that have no rivers, Dominica could have been making millions annually on the supply of water to these northern islands, as far up as the British Virgin Islands. For example, there was a rumor at one time where the government of Dominica got these oil tankers and were actually trading oil between these eastern they were trading oil from one of them eastern countries to China. I was saying, why the government of this present administration then use these oil tankers, clean them up, turn them into water tankers. And in every Northern Caribbean island, they actually lease a piece of land from the government and do some reservoirs so that we could actually use these water tankers, just like how they do in the oil and the gas from the other islands, from island to island, to sell the water to these islands as potable water. This would have been our gold, our oil, and our silver, Mr. Farrell. And we have so much, there are so many potential, we have so much potential that it hurts my heart that I decided I was never going to call this registration again. But seeing as the last caller mentioned about the water, I can see that it
resonated with you. Yeah, it resonated with you.
Yeah. And I can tell you, if the government had any vision, they would have actually invested in some water tankers and in the Northern Caribbean islands, lease a piece of land, as I mentioned earlier, and build some reservoirs and supply these islands with water. Mr. Farrell, when I see we actually importing water out of the other islands, or even, for example, blue water. If people only know where blue water comes from, they would continue drinking not our water. What's the water we produce in Dominica again? Tropical water. There is no other water better than our tropical water, Mr. Farrell. And we are actually investing our money in other water from other countries and islands when we have the best water in Dominica. And it is sad. It is absolutely sad. And I hope that somebody from the government or the administration is listening to me this morning, and they would actually into it at this time before other islands actually do it. Because we have the potential, Mr. Farrell. This PBI money, these guys keep throwing down the drain. All they have to do is invest it into our water. And we use the water now to actually ramp our economy and to take care of the people. So thank you very much, Mr. Farrell, for listening. Okay?
Of course. You see, I told you. Dominicans are brilliant people. Good morning to Ronnie and Kleena. Good morning to you. We appreciate you guys. Let me just read this comment by one of our avid listeners. They are saying that as a nature isle, we should have a tire shredder, shredding the rubber and removing the steel belts for export. The rubber can also be exported or utilized in asphalt to repair and resurface roads as is done in other parts of the world. This comment came up a lot throughout the program this morning. They go on to say plastic bottles should be separated just like aluminum and exported to places like Trinidad, who has big recycling operations. That's true. As the nature isle, we should no longer be burning waste, but managing it. That's also true. Caller, thank you for your contribution, and the person who commented, thank you for that. Man, it's been a packed morning, but I do have to leave now. The folks at Logos are expecting me. It's been a pleasure. On this edition of The Hot Seat, July 2nd, 2025, I am Richie Farrell, temporarily sitting in for the legend, Matthias Peltier. Well, on behalf of the entire Q95 news team, you stay tuned to the big station, Q95. During the hurricane season, If you are evacuating, leave early so that you are not stranded by flooded roads, fallen trees, wires, and traffic jams, and make sure you have enough fuel in your vehicle and follow routes and highways. A message from 295 FM Radio.
Exciting news from AutoTrade. Incredible savings are here. Take advantage of AutoTrade's Thrifty Thursday promotion. Mark your calendars. On the last Thursday of each month, AutoTrade is offering up to 20% off items throughout the store. Yes, 20% off. But wait, there's more. Keep your eyes peeled for our exclusive Deal of the Day offer, bringing you even bigger discounts on select items. Whether you're looking for car accessories, maintenance essentials, or just browsing for a great deal, we've got you covered. So be sure to swing by AutoTrade every last Thursday. At AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship. Terms and conditions apply.
Man, you know that is greatness. Some ice in your cup to your friends in cup. You know that we like it. Big belly bartender. No, we don't need chase. But if you want, it could mix with anything. We drinking Stone ginger wine, the original ginger wine. We drinking a lot of say. Ginger wine. Greatness is forever.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
I see Golo in shopping for farming supplies. So I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloomberg? Do you have a farm? He tell me, that's how tell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. He say, no, not woman. Like land for farming crops. And then you understand. Bloomberg is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Do you want more miles for less? Rubis Ultratech gasoline and diesel uses advanced fuel technology to optimize your vehicle's performance and improve its fuel economy. By removing deposits, Ultratech maximizes your vehicle's performance, keeping your engine clean and running like new. What does Ultratech greater fuel economy mean to you? You get more miles for less. Put only the best in your tank. Ultratech Fuel, only from Rubis.
Get Rubis, get going, get Rubis, get going. You need a loan, a chicken, a big deposit on your door. And you in various offices, but with high time, don't think you need membership. You want quality products, we have that. You want quality services, we have that too. Our services will help make your dreams come true. That's a fact. Hurry now to NCCU, your community financial partner. Yes, support you through all disaster. At NCCU, trust us, we care. The kind of loyalty you cannot find anywhere. National Cooperative Credit Union, education, training, and information. Self-help, responsibility, democracy, equality, solidarity. NCCU, we have no heart for our members. So become a member today in one of our local offices and help us make your dreams come true. 255-2126. NCCU, your community financial partner.
Month end to the first week in July. All roads lead to Scott's Head for the grand Kashaku Reunion Festival, beginning Friday, June 27th with Sounds of Praise to the Most High. Lively cultural performances, followed by Soir l'Histoire, a night of powerful, topical, juicy history with Dr. Leonard Tonicher, followed by the Super Block of finale. Saturday 20th, Sakis Bukabut in spectacular carnival style, followed by Dr. Mika Lavadi and Dropping. Sunday 30th, church service, then village festival with the Unstoppable Person Serenade. Tuesday, July 1st, trip to Kalinago territory. Wednesday, July 2nd, the Dog Blue and Big Money Bingo. Tuesday, July 3rd, beach party and talent night with special guest Franklin Moses. Friday, July 4th, grand dinner and dance. Saturday, 5th, the highly anticipated return of Connect Online with Midnight Movement. Sunday, July 6th, Super Blacko. Extra cold coupon is only $3 for $10. Raffle to include a large screen, smart television, and multiple smart phone devices. Don't miss the Scott's Head Kashaku Reunion. Good month into the first week of July. Sponsored by Belfast Estate, Copeland Bear, DNO, Q95, and Creole Heartbeat. Look at people.
Introducing the new Caribbean paint from Do It Center. Durant paint and wall covering from Do It Best Quality Paint, giving you the same great interior and exterior quality, the same color matching technology, at an incredible price. Available in black, satin, and semi-gloss. Visit us on Google Road or call our paint department at 255-6896. Do It Center, your partner in home improvements.
Here's your reason to shout. Win with Republic's 100 nut outs. A trip to the CP Albano in Guyana could be yours if you use select Republic Bank products today. Earn 6 runs when you use or register for
Republic Online and Republic Mobile.
Use your Visa debit cards.
Or get an approved personal loan. But wait, there's more. Personal customers, you can win 1 of 3 amazing trips across the Caribbean to view RBL CPL matches. Plus, there'll be Republic Bank CPL merch and match tickets up for grabs every month.
We're all in. Who waits to win? Visit RepublicBankEC.com.
All in Republic Bank, title sponsor and official bank of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier
The views
League.
expressed during this program are not necessarily those of Wise Q95 FM Radio. Wise Q95 FM Radio has not been able to independently verify the factual correctness or the allegations and statements made during the course of this program and cannot vouch for their accuracy. Therefore, Wise Q95 FM Radio will not accept any responsibility or liability for the statements or allegations made in the course of this program.
Cause I'm on my way. KFC delivery is here. Just place your order at www.kfcdominica.com, Facebook or WhatsApp at 614-2633 and your order will be delivered to you. KFC, it's good. Cause I'm on my way.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, but believe. Cards ready cash, it's for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, you already know. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, always ready. When you're ready, let's go.
Courts Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Know your favorite store, dial it now. 612-1253. That's Mega. You can rely on Mega for some real deals on name brand clothing and electronics. High quality, low price. We are a wholesale and retail store located in Calabishi, right on the main road. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram at Mega Deals Dominica. Like our page. Check out our stuff. Call us. Visit us. Would appreciate that. Come try it on. Love it. Buy it at Mega Deals. Your one and only online and brick and mortar store. Mega Deals is also on wheels. We make it convenient for your shopping. We deliver straight to your door. Email us at info@megadealsda.com. Rely on Mega Deals for some real deals.
I see Golo in shopping for farming supplies. So I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? He tell me, that's how tell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. They say, no, not woman. Like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or launcher. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Energy, strength, vitality. The drink that gives us strength for the extra mile. Vitamalt, smooth, delicious, refreshing, and healthy. Taste it. Rich in vitamin B. Vitamalt, the magical source of energy you know and love. Drink it. Boy, that's nicely. I love my Vitamalt there. Vitamalt, vitalized naturally. Distributed by Belfast Estate Limited.